So we've been talking about how we haven't been seeing you down at the gym much. You must have changed your time.
Well, Wesley changed my time.
Wesley changed your time.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna bring this right over here.
To be honest, I don't have a lot of energy left to go to the gym after running around with him. You know.
Yeah.
Help me with this, would you? I
What'd
messed
you
it
do?
up. I messed it up.
That's
I bought this clock so we'd stay on time.
Oh, nice.
Well, and now what do I do? Start? Yes.
yeah. There you go.
How much time do I got to talk?
We do
However
half
long you
hour
want.
segments. But if you go an hour and a half, 2 hours, hey, listen.
Oh boy.
If it's interesting stuff, I'll just listen to his.
Yeah, go ahead.
And we'll just go ahead and talk.
Hey, how's it going?
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
I'm gonna put it just a little bit.
He's on
Just-
the,
Oh, maybe I don't even have it on the right one.
no, I just didn't. So we've been experimenting with 5 mics now because 3 people on the couch is kind of a lot. We've got one there
Oh,
that
sure.
we've been experimenting with. So Dad usually sits in the middle, and we push the mics kind of toward him.
Yeah, there's
so
all
that
kinds
they
of
can-
mics going on.
We do have a
Yeah.
bunch of microphones, yes. So how does he sound there, Dad?
Go ahead.
1, 2, 3.
Yep.
There
Perfect.
it is.
Nice.
All right.
So I was.
Oh,
So
that's
you're talking about Dick, your grandpa.
Yeah.
And I've gone, I don't know if you've watched many of these, but I've gone on record saying that I want Dick Royston on the podcast.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know if he'll do it.
Well, yeah.
Because like he was the mayor of Mazo for a long time.
14 years.
Yeah, 14 years.
Yeah.
That's wild. I didn't even know that was a thing when I.
And so I
You would
wanted,
need a 3-hour session for him.
well,
I
that's
think.
okay. Yeah. And then we would, and then you've got some other, you've got a whole bunch of relatives
All of them.
that I was.
Yeah, all of them
All
are
of
in
them.
Mazo, yeah.
But I mean, you've
Can't
got
get
a whole,
away with anything.
you got a whole bunch of relatives that are interesting people. You might not think of them as interesting, but
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
a good
like
word for it. I
for
guess.
instance, you've got Jim Craney.
Yeah.
He is your great uncle.
Great uncle,
Great
yeah.
uncle. Jim and Sharon.
Jim and Sharon, yep.
Is that
So
who-
Sharon is my grandpa Dick's sister.
Yes,
Yep.
right.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. She was a Royston. And he has a story. I remember years ago, probably maybe before you were born. No, maybe not. He went to the national. Was he in the reserves?
Reserves, yep.
And he was just about going to be done. And then
Right, and then
the Iraqi
Gulf War.
Yeah. So I'd like to hear that if I could ever see if I could get somebody to put a bug in his ear.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
See, that's
He
one
loves
of
talking about that, yeah.
that's going to be your job. We're going. You know what we've done is we've gotten this prize table over here. I don't know if you know that. All of our guests get something to take home with them. But what I was hoping to do was maybe bribe you. I give you more than one gift if you would be a person that would, tell Dick that we'd like to have him on.
I could get all kinds of people for you. Yeah.
But there's Dick and there's Jim and Sharon. There's Roundy.
Yep.
Dave.
Yep.
Just a Game Fieldhouse.
Just a Game
Just a Game,
Fieldhouse,
yeah.
and his wife Joy, who I went to high school with.
She was in your class?
She was in my class, and he was a few years older, but, I think he ended up being my baseball coach. I played some home talent with him.
Sure, yeah.
And, of course, he's had quite a run as far as good businesses and stuff.
Yeah, and that all started right here in Maysville where, I don't know if that was the original spot, but where the bar is now RJ's.
Yeah, RJ's.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was the original Sports Impressions. We used to run around that place, yeah.
And Walt Peterson.
Yeah.
He's been he was a firefighter for Local Firefighter, right?
Yeah, well, he was the chief here for forever.
Those are all your
basically.
relatives.
Yeah.
And they're like 3 months
They're
worth
making-
of
they're
podcast.
making
Oh,
Mason
yeah.
run.
Exactly.
They're making the town
provide whatever you
run.
want.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was fire chief for, I think he just turned 70.
Yeah.
He's probably been there for 40 years.
Is he's done though? No.
So he gave up the chief position. Now he's
Oh.
a firefighter. Yeah. Yeah.
To me, those are amazing. That's just, and here's the thing about, like you were mentioning it before we started, that there's just a lot of interesting people locally. Everybody's got a story.
Right.
Some are very, very interesting. Like here you're a firefighter in Madison,
City of Madison. Yep.
City of Madison.
Yep.
And right next door in little town of Mazomanie, we've got Camden Parman, who is, where's he? Fitchburg?
I think he just got hired full time in Fitchburg.
Fitchburg.
Yeah.
Two big city firefighters
Right.
in little Mazomanie.
Right.
And
So I think that's
Did-
kind of neat.
You guys obviously got your start at Mazo, right?
Yep. Yeah,
So,
we both did.
yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
we missed each other. I don't think we ever worked with each other in Mazo. He's, I don't know how old is Cam?
He's 2 years younger than me, and I think you're 4 years older than me.
I'm 30. So
I'm 26. So yeah,
so
and
he's 24. Yeah, so we
24-ish.
would have missed each other down there. But yeah. Yeah, well, we started here.
Yeah, and so then there's all these connecting points, not only your relatives, but then there's the firefighting thing with, what is Walt? Is he your great uncle as well?
Great uncle, yep.
Beyond
So
marriage?
again, Jane would be, his wife would be Grandpa Dick's sister.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And so he was a firefighter. I'd like to talk with him just simply because of all the, there's probably so many things similar, but there's probably a lot of differences, not only in when he started doing firefighting, but volunteer as opposed to, full-time like
Sure.
you are.
Yeah, exactly.
Big differences.
Yeah, a lot of similarities, but a lot of big differences. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
So go ahead.
But yeah, so we have Jameson Duhr here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. We kind of like to do that, like to warm things up a little bit so you don't feel nervous. Not that everybody would feel nervous.
Yeah, I'm not
but,
nervous.
But some
I
people
supposed to be
come on
nervous?
and we've had no.
He goes into burning buildings.
Yeah.
He's not nervous about sitting down with
Yeah.
a couple of guys.
Well,
to
at least
talk.
not you two.
Yeah.
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 Depends on who it is.
But thanks for joining
Yeah.
us. I want to talk, obviously, get to your firefighting stuff, but and we've already talked about all your relatives, and that was
He's tired of talking about his
Yeah,
relatives.
it wasn't a setup.
Can't get away from
It
him.
wasn't a setup, but I did, as I was running on the treadmill down at Mix It Up just about a half an hour ago, and I was thinking, okay, I've talked about having Dick on, but he's got a whole bunch of other relatives that have interesting stories. I'd like to see if Jameson will go to bat for me for the podcast.
I'll go to bat for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd love to.
Yeah. Thanks. So Jameson, is that a family name, or is that just something your folks dreamt up?
It's something my mom dreamt of. She remember the show ER. That was like
yeah.
the OG to like Grey's Anatomy and
Yeah.
all this. So ER was the original show, and she said one of the patients had a baby, and they named it Jameson. So
Wow.
You were kind of
there you
destined
are.
to be
Destined to
a
be Jameson.
lifesaver type.
yeah, everyone always asks if I'm Irish or if my parents drink a lot of
Oh,
whiskey.
yeah.
Neither of which is true,
Neither of
really.
which.
Yeah, this came from a TV show. At least that's what I'm told. So
Yeah.
let's go with that.
And you said you're 30.
Yeah.
And so you did you go to Mazo Elementary, then the junior high, and graduated from Heights? What
Yeah,
year?
so the original, so K to 5 in the Mazo Elementary School, and then went on to the middle school, high school for the rest of it.
And tell us a little bit tell us about your biological family, growing up family, and then now you've got your own little family. Just give us a little bit of.
Yeah, so I grew up right across from Lake Marion out there, which was, great. My parents so that was the second house that I lived in. My dad built that house in 91, 92, or 92, 93, and I was born in 92. So we moved out there when I was barely a year old. So grew up across from the lake, fishing and everything like that. My dad worked for the phone company. He worked for the same company for 30 years, 35 years. She just recently retired. And then my mom she just recently retired too from the University Hospital in Madison.
Wow.
But she also has taught the aerobics class here across from the gym in the community building she still teaches that. I think she started when she was like 20. So she's been doing that for a long time. And then my sister, she's 4 years younger than me. And
She's in my class.
Caitlin's in your class?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, so she went to UW Madison, got her bachelor's degree, and she's actually got her master's degree now. And then she married Nick Ginthy, who
He's
was
2 years older than us.
2 years older than you, 2 years younger than me. Yeah, and he graduated med school, and he's a resident now, doctor at UW. So
Nick was always a smart guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
not as smart as me, but
Yeah. You got to get that on the tape.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
I don't care what he thinks. Or
Yeah.
I'm still stronger and faster, at least. So
There you go.
yeah,
Yeah.
you can have the books. I don't care.
Yeah. The young, your folks are young retirees.
Very.
They're pretty young.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I won't.
My
we won't
dad
give their
went when
age.
he was, he worked, like I said, the same company for over 30 years, from 19 to 53, 54, something like that. So he did his time. But yeah, it is young to retire, but he did well for himself.
Yeah.
And, my mom, she had planned to retire, but I think when Wesley, my kid, came around, that was that was the axe.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Now it is time to retire.
Time to be a grandma, huh?
Yeah.
And are they traveling? Are they just hanging around so they can watch
So
Wesley
my dad
grow up?
went from working on for the phone company, doing phone lines and stuff like that, to now he's doing hard labor as a hobby, building homes and pouring concrete. And why, I don't know. I just think maybe he felt cooped up for the past 35 years. So, but he's doing what he truly loves now, which is building things.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
So traveling, yeah, actually they're leaving for Hawaii this week, I think. I have their dogs. Should probably actually look.
Yeah. Make sure they get to
Hopefully
the
they have them
year.
right now. I don't know. Because I don't.
Yeah. So then you have a son named Wesley,
Yep.
and your wife's name is
Vanessa.
And is she a Heights girl?
She's
too?
a high school. She last name was Clarkson. Grew up on
Oh, yeah.
Suncliffe Road.
Okay.
And then she's got one younger sister, one older sister.
And they went one of them went to River Valley?
Yeah. So Kayla, the oldest one, graduated from Heights. Vanessa graduated from Heights, and then Sydney graduated from Valley.
Mm-hmm. I remember that. Because she, I think, was a year older than me. And yeah, anyway.
Is this a true remembrance? So sometimes I'd be traveling home from Black Earth on KP, and I would go past Lake Marion, and I would see your dad shoveling. This is in the winter.
Yeah.
It's frozen.
Yeah.
And I'd see him shoveling, getting ready to do some ice hockey.
Snow blowing and shoveling, yeah.
And I thought I remember seeing a little kid out there. Were you out there ever with
for
him?
sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's something we did every winter.
Yeah.
We'd go out there, blow an ice hockey rink, and
Yeah.
skate around.
Yeah.
We were out there all the time.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
remember that. Yeah. He was out there quite a bit. This was his exercise, evidently.
Still is.
Does he still do it? Yeah, I was going to say.
Oh, he does,
We'll go
yeah.
past now that there's been water. There was not water there for a long
It looked
time.
like a 5-year hiatus, but yeah.
Yeah. And
I actually don't think it was that long, but it was long enough.
It was
a long time.
Yeah, I think my junior year was the last year we had water in it because I would go fishing there. And then, 3-4 years ago they got water in it?
I don't remember exactly. I don't remember the timetable,
Yeah.
but it seemed like a long time that it was just a
Mud
weed
pit.
pat.
Yeah.
Weed pat, yeah. Patch.
Yeah, had to mow the lake. But yeah, he still does that. It was, and it's great for the community, for the kids to go out there and skate around. So
Yeah. And do you get out there much,
haven't.
or is it?
recently, but hopefully in these next couple of years, once Wesley can start ice skating.
So you're a pretty good skater. I would better than average, just because you've done it.
I feel like if average is most people can't do it, then I'm above average.
Okay, yeah. I don't know how.
Yeah,
I used to rollerblade.
Well, if you can rollerblade, you can ice skate.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I think.
I skate on either side of my ankles. They're either turned out or turned in.
Yeah.
I just was never good at it. I don't know if it was because I didn't have a good set of skates, probably because I'm not coordinated or something, but
Yeah, it's just one of those things. Because my dad still plays hockey.
Really?
like at soccer or something?
Men's league, yeah.
No checking?
What's that?
No checking? Or
No,
does
it's
Jesse get
brutal.
into it?
It's 50, 60-year-old men doing stuff they shouldn't. Yeah. He used to come. I remember him coming home one night at midnight with a hole below his nose because he got hit in the head with a puck.
Oh,
And he asked me if he thought it could just wait till morning. I was like, no, we better take you to the hospital. And I was like 15 and I remember driving him to Sauk Hospital.
Yeah, your dad's a little bit of a different breed.
Right,
I wasn't in
yeah.
high school with him, but I have friends that were, you know, and have stories about
Darwin
your
has a
dad.
good story about him coming back to the huddle in a football game and he was like coughing and he spit out a tooth into his hand and just threw it on the ground.
Yeah.
Said, "You good?" "Yeah, I'm good."
built
Yeah.
different back then.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
are good stories.
Well, they weren't all different back then, but he was different.
Yeah.
And he was part of that group.
Well, he was
yeah.
the youngest of 4, so he had to be
That
pretty
helps,
4
yeah.
boys, so
Yeah.
he had to be pretty tough.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. So did you then go to like a 4-year college, or did you go to a technical school? Did you go to MATC?
To
or-
MATC for 2 years.
And was
yeah.
that actually for firefighting?
Yeah,
They have a-
fire protection technician is the name of the program, or it was. I think it's changed now, the name of it exactly. But yeah, it was an actual firefighting program.
And what is that? Does that actually prepare you to be a firefighter, a non-local, a full-time firefighter?
Yeah, that's what it's geared towards, is
Okay.
for people who want to do it as a career, for sure.
Okay.
Yep.
And but I mean, do you have to then get other certifications, or do you have to go to more schooling, or is that basically it, and then you just have to put in your time and kind of work your way up the the chain, if you will, and get hired by.
Yeah, there's that, but there's also, you know, the training, it never ends. There's always classes you can take, because I've taken classes in Duluth at like Superior Technical Colleges, in Addison, Alabama, Socorro, New Mexico, Pueblo, Colorado, been to all those places just to take like these, you know, accessory courses or whatever that all, you know, expand your knowledge base of what you're doing, but also, you know, make your resume look a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
But like the program at MATC, that's 2 years. So, but it's just like a lot of things where about half of it or a little bit less of it is actually geared towards, you know, firefighting. There's an actual fire academy where you're out there cutting up cars and putting out fires every day, exercising, that type of thing. Wow. There's other classes like building construction that you take, you know, because it's good to know, you know, how buildings are built, especially when they're on fire, because you know what's going to fail and what's not going to fail and things like that. Mm-hmm. Communication classes, technical reporting classes, because we do a lot of more paperwork than anyone thinks that we do. Yeah. So there's a lot more to it than what most people would think. But
did you know when did you know you wanted to be a firefighter? Do you remember being a kid, or was it more you got in high school? What? Yeah. Well, and then the other question is did you do some local firefighting before you went to college? So whatever one you want to handle first.
Yeah. So actually kind of I never had a real clear career path that I wanted to take until I was probably in my senior year of high school. So going back to my grandpa, Dick Royson, he spent 40 years with the Warden Service, the DNR.
He did.
And so that was, if anything was on my radar, it was probably that, either being a warden or a park ranger, something along those lines, something being outside, and, you know, playing with cool equipment. When I was 16, going into my junior year, was my first year that I just decided not to play any sort of fall sport at Heights, and not really for any particular reason. I didn't want to really, just kind of burnt out and sick of the monotony and things like that. So I actually remember driving to my grandparents' house on State Street one night, and it was a Monday night when the Maysville Volunteers train, and all the trucks were outside, and I was like, oh, it looks kind of interesting, you know, because you know, every kid's like, you know, being a firefighter was cool, but kind of like in that moment, I was like, well, if I'm not gonna play a sport, I got to find something to do, otherwise I'll be in trouble. So I talked to Pete, you know,
Peterson, Walt Peter,
and he said, yeah, come on down, give it a shot. So I went down there for a training one night, and actually that night we just so happened to have, there used to be, I don't know if you remember this, where the greenhouse is now for the hardware store, there used to be a house there, and it was condemned or something like that.
That's where the Parkers used to live.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yep.
It had to be, I don't know, I think it just got torn down and didn't get burnt down. But anyways, I went down there, got a set of gear, and went to that house and climbed some ladders and pulled some hose, and I was kind of hooked at that point. So that's how I spent the next 2 years. And then probably when I was a senior, I was like, you know, I could see myself doing this for a career. So
Camden, when he was younger, he would ride after the police cars. He'd hear the sirens, and he'd get on his bike and he would go.
He probably still does that.
Yeah, he might. He does. Now he just drives his truck.
Yeah.
But I just remember we knew it was not a surprise that he's doing that, because he would just go. He had like lights on his bike and stuff like that too, so he was into it. So
yeah, it's funny because going back to the Cam, when I played ball for his dad, and him and his brother, like the two little boys sitting on the bench keeping the stat book or whatever. That was my first introduction to the Cam.
Yeah. So you're working for the city of Madison. How many years have you been employed by them?
Since 18, so this will be my 5th year.
2018.
January of 18. So
okay.
Yeah.
What did this just came to my mind? Did anything change? I mean, I know a lot changed with the pandemic, but did anything change with the firefighting? I mean, I'm talking about especially on scene. I mean, here you are, you're having to deal in an emergency, every second counts type thing. But I was just wondering if, you know, is it like, who cares about masks at that point? Or is it like we have to do certain protocols? I really don't know. It's a real live question, you know.
Yeah, that's a great question. The answer is everything changed in almost in an instant in, you know, March of 2020 or whatever. And it changed literally overnight, and we went with a plan that no one had ever done before. We've never seen anything like this. No one's had it. There was no way for us to look back and be like, what did they do in 1970 when this happened? So everything was just at, you just went with it. So yeah, the calls changed drastically. Any patient that, came across as having any sort of COVID symptom, we would fully, put on, I don't want to say Tyvek suits, but gowns, goggles, masks, face shields, everything like that, because no one knew, So like you said, seconds count, but at the same time, if we all get sick and go away, then who's going to protect everyone else? So, you kind of, borrowed or sacrificed seconds to put your own stuff on type of thing. And then, it gradually got worse, and then it kind of got better type of thing. So now what we're doing is more or less back to normal procedure, but we still wear masks on every EMS call.
Oh, EMS.
Fires, we don't. Yeah, and fires, we never do they wear a mask. I mean, no one wants to, if you're standing outside or whatever, last thing you want to do is you have a mask on and try and breathe through that. Yeah. When it's hot and sticky and stuff. I mean, if you had to, you would, but but every medical call we go on, we still wear masks.
So you're a firefighter and a paramedic?
EMT.
EMT.
Yeah.
Okay.
So everyone on the department is at least at the EMT level. And then, so the firefighters, EMTs ride the engines and the ladders. And then the paramedics, which is, a much higher level of medical training, they're the ones that are on the ambulance.
Oh, okay.
What's like a normal week? I know there aren't really any normal weeks probably for you, but what would be did you work last night?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you're like, how many shifts on or how many hours on and how many off and stuff like that? I mean, what's it like?
Yeah. So when I tell people what the schedule is, they, it comes off as complicated, but it's not. So it's just so the shifts are 24 hours. They're always 24 hours long. We start at 7 a.m. and then we work all day and all night, and our relief comes in at 7 a.m. the next day. So I went in at 7 a.m. I got there at 7 a.m. on Sunday morning yesterday, and then my relief was there at 7 a.m. this morning. So that's a day. We'll call that a day. And we work every other day for 5 days, and then we get a 4-day weekend.
Okay.
So this week it works out. I work Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, and then I'll have off Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Nice.
Then I'll work Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, have off Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Oh, so but it's you aren't like the quote factory worker who goes in at 7 o'clock on Monday morning and is off at 3 o'clock on Friday afternoon.
Right.
And they always have, Friday night, Saturday, Sunday. You have a rotating thing all the time, but it's always 4 days. So it's 4 days off after you've done your shifts.
Yeah, after you've done your 5-day week, basically.
Okay.
Yep. But yeah, not being home at night can be difficult, especially with the kids and stuff. It wasn't that big a deal before, but yeah, you're there, you're committed there for 24 hours, whatever happens. And I mean, of course, you can always leave for family's emergencies and stuff like that, but anything else, you're committed to being there.
I talked with your mom down at the 1855 Coffee House couple weeks ago, and that's how we connected.
Mm-hmm.
And she said something that was interesting, and I don't know if you want to comment on this or just say no comment, but it was something about how firefighting has gotten more dangerous now, not so much because of firefighting, but maybe crime. Is that true or what? I mean, not that she was, but I don't know exactly what she meant by that. Do you know?
Yeah, I think, well, I mean, the fires have gotten worse, I think, over time. I mean, I can only speak for the last, 10 years, but I think, the fires have gotten worse or more dangerous. You think, we always call it, what's under your kitchen sink type of thing. You think if you went down there, you have bleach, all these kinds of cleaners and things like this. This couch is made of basically a solid form of gasoline, plastic. Same with, carpet and things like that. Fires burn hotter and they burn faster. Building materials have gotten much, instead of using actual 2x4s, we now use what we call 2x4s, but a smaller board, laminate. Everything's designed to burn hotter and faster.
Oh,
and,
okay.
Everything seems
That's comforting.
Yeah. Things hold together until they don't, and it happens in an instant type of thing.
I see.
As far as crime goes, yeah, I mean, I think it just kind of goes in waves. And I think a lot more is relied upon us for the crimes, the shootings, the stabbings and things like that, that we have to go to. yeah, we do the best to keep ourselves safe, but ultimately, if you got to get in there and get someone out, then you do what you got to do type of thing.
Yeah. Every job has kind of a glamorous side, especially those like firefighting. Mm-hmm. What's the difficult side of it? That not being home at night, is that the worst part of it, or is it the actual physical drain and the emotional drain of having to go places like that? What's the dark side of it, if there is one?
There's definitely a dark side of it. I think it's the stress, which comes from a lot of things, comes from the calls, comes from the lack of sleep, comes from, the stress that's just put on you to, everyone expects you to be perfect every hour of every day type of thing. And I always joke with this when people that do work for me around the house where they're pouring concrete or do whatever. And I always say, if I have to go to work and be perfect, then I expect you to be perfect too, type of thing. But yeah, you see, a side of reality that, no one else really gets to see. You get to see, in simple terms, the worst side of humanity. You see how people live, and, you come home and you can't just tell people what you saw or what you did, because A, they wouldn't believe you, and B, you just kind of want to bury it and not even talk about it type of thing. But I think the stress from just seeing the other side of how people live and act and interact and treat each other is definitely what wears on you the most. And then couple that with not going to sleep at night. And then, coming home and having to turn it all off.
In
an instant, and that's probably the most difficult thing is, when people say, how was your day, or, tell me what the calls you went on. It's like, well, I don't want to tell you. Like, I know it's over. It's done.
I want to relive it.
Yeah. And that's why I always kind of tell people, my neighbor, the new neighbors that live next to me, like, oh, it's so nice living next to a firefighter. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's great. But 7 a.m. when I'm done, I'm done. Not that I won't help you if something happens, but I turn it off.
You don't want to talk about firefighting the whole time.
No, I don't. Yeah, not really. Yeah. I mean, I'll do it for, for you guys or whatever. But yeah, when I come home, I'm just me. I kind of leave work at work. And that is, the nice thing, to be able to leave work at work, not to think about it when you come home. So
don't you probably need that in one sense? Doing that high risk, high stress, you can't.
I'm sure your family appreciates it too, in a sense that you're not.
Yeah.
Overwhelmed. I mean, I'm sure it's overwhelming, but just to come home and it's like.
And that's why you want to turn it off. Like, I don't want to, Now I can just be dad or be husband or whatever, and just turn it all off. But yeah, the stress, I think the number one killer of firefighters is heart disease. And, probably the same for most of, the country. But, you think about how taxing it is. You see most, firefighter, we can retire at 53 right now if you had 25 years of service, but a 53-year-old firefighter looks like they're about, 112.
Yeah.
Because
what they put themselves through, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Well, maybe if we could ask you, maybe we could take just a short break here, and we could ask you to stay just a few more minutes, because what I'd like to ask is, what do you do when you come home to relax with
how do you
Wesley,
decompress?
How do you decompress and some things like that? Maybe we could take a little break, and then we usually like to play a little game with people.
Yeah, whatever you guys want to do.
What is it called again?
Would you rather?
Would you rather?
All right.
Do you mind?
I'm down for it.
Okay.
All right, we'll be right back.
Let me just.
That's okay. We're not going to go over 30 minutes now.
And maybe there's something you have, Jameson, that we missed, as far as
something you wanted to add.
Yeah, maybe you can just say we're back with Jameson Duhr, and then I can ask him that question.
All right, we're back with Jameson Duhr. How was that?
I'm still here.
We're really casual today.
Yeah.
So I just asked that question. So maybe there's something we missed. Maybe there's something you wanted to, some interesting thing that we didn't have a good question for. Anything?
No, I thought you guys did a good job. Not a whole lot that I can think. I mean, we could talk about on the fire, like a typical day. I don't know if that's something.
Let's do that. Let's talk about that, and then maybe you can tell us.
We didn't really say anything about that, right?
Yeah, do that, and then let's talk about just what you do to decompress. I mean, you work out, stuff like that, but maybe
I was talking about a typical day at the firehouse, but we can do a typical day at home.
That's what I mean. Do both, please. Yeah, like what is it like? Like when you get there, 7:00 in the morning? obviously you don't jump on a truck right away. Maybe sometimes you maybe do, but probably
probably more often than you'd think.
Really?
Actually, yeah.
Huh. That's probably a rush.
Well, because everything's so. Yeah, we'll just start. So I usually get there. The fire service, they have this saying, or if you're early, you're on time, and if you're on time, you're late, type of thing. So shift starts at 7 a.m. Everyone should be there about 6:30, 6:20 or so. 6:15 is when I get there. Just because it's nice when those guys have been up all night long. I can get there, and when those calls come in between 6:15 and 7, I'll just take them for them, and they do the same for me, type of thing. So the first thing we do is we check out. So I'm assigned to an engine. There's engines and there's trucks or ladder trucks. The engines have the water, and the ladder trucks are the ones with the big ladders on top. On the north side, right across from the Mallards Stadium, if you know whereabouts we're at. And the first thing you do is check out the rigs. So we have medical equipment on the engine as well, just in case there's not an ambulance in service. We make sure all that's in check. Make sure the hoses are there. There's water on the rig. All the tools are where they're supposed to be.
Okay.
And then 7 a.m. we clean. People are probably surprised, you have a station with, 5, 10, 15 people, and it's probably one of the cleanest places you've ever been before in your life because, the toilets get scrubbed every day. The floors get mopped twice a day. So we do a real good job of cleaning. 7:30 a.m. we have what's called briefing. We use Zoom now. Actually, so the entire city, 14 stations in the city. And then chiefs get on, and we just have it's mostly just them talking. We don't really say anything. Just the daily events. If there's anything big going on in town, road construction, announcements like that. 7:30, 8 o'clock, we pool our money and go to the store because we got to eat. We're there for 24 hours, so we shop and eat. So we go to Pick and Save, buy our food for the day. Usually the most senior firefighter is one that'll cook 2 meals, lunch and dinner. And then I'm going to kind of skip around here, but we'll eat lunch at 11 o'clock or noon, and then dinner at about 5 or so. So in between there, in a 24-hour shift, a busy day would be, pushing 20 calls. A slow day would be 7, 8 calls maybe on a slow day. So in between all that stuff, you're running emergency call, what you're there to do, right? But I think what a lot of people don't realize is we have thousands of every business in the city of Madison has to be inspected by the fire department. Make sure your extinguishers are there, your exit lights are lit, exits aren't blocked, electrical panels aren't. You don't have combustibles around them, type of thing. So we do thousands of inspections per year. PR events. We go to grade schools and do fire drills. We've even done read books to kindergartners or younger kids. The first day of the Madison Metro School, which was a couple weeks ago, we went to as many schools as we possibly could to welcome the kids back. And then training. So there'll be either just company trainings, in the firehouse itself, or the city will put on like multi-company trainings where you'll go to buildings and pull hose or do whatever. So that, takes up most of the day, and then we'll eat. And then after 5, 6 o'clock at night, it's kind of your time to do whatever you want. You want to, finish reports or watch a movie or work out or whatever it is you want to do. But obviously, you're still there running calls until 7 a.m. the next day. So like last night, for an example, we had a slow day. I think we probably only ran 3 or 4 calls between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. And then we probably did, 7 or 8 more between then and shift change. So it was about a 3:30 a.m. bedtime this morning.
Do you get to you get to sleep at the place if there's no calls going on?
Yeah, so we each have our own bunk, I guess you'd call it. It's just like they're all different. Some firehouses have like actual separate rooms. Some are just curtained off like they are where I work. But you have your own bed and a desk and a locker. Okay, basically, kind of like a dorm, I guess you could say.
Have you gotten more used to it, or is it still like really tough to like lay down and be like, all right, I've got to sleep, and just hope that, you don't get a call in 15 minutes or whatever it is. I know you can't do anything about that, but.
Right. No, I've gotten more used to it, but you never like get used to it.
Sure.
I mean, I can be extremely drag myself out of that bed to go on a call, doing the head bob on the way there type of thing, and then get back and you can't fall asleep because you're just overtired. And so like when a call comes in, there's like an automated voice that comes on in this red light that flashes, and you just kind of like stare at that light, waiting for it to light up for the next one type of thing. And then all of a sudden you blink and my alarm's going off because it's 6:30 in the morning or whatever. So then time to come home and take care of the kid and everything else around the house. So as far as coming home and decompressing. Going to the gym was what I used to do. That was my decompression. The more I went off a kid, it's, fun watching. He's always up with, he's 0 to 100 at, 5:30 a.m.
Chewing on your phone. And
chewing on my phone. That's what I was telling these guys, I can only talk on speakerphone now because my kid ate the ear speaker out of my phone.
That's really good.
Yeah. And I'd take it to get it fixed, but I'm like, what's the point? Screen's cracked. Yes, people always say the kids are expensive, and they're not expensive because of what they need. They're expensive because of what you have that they destroy.
That's good.
Drills and tools and all this stuff.
Yeah, and it's just starting.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know.
How old is he now?
Year and a half.
Year and a half?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember doing the same thing with all my dad. I always wondered, my dad never had nice things. Never had nice tools. Never had anything nice.
Yeah.
So it didn't really make sense, because he did well for himself, and now I get it.
Yeah.
Because I would just destroy everything.
Exactly.
I would take the deck off the lawnmower and use it as a go-kart type of thing. I was thinking about all the stuff that I did and that I have to look forward to coming home for, because who knows what he is going to be able to do in a 24-hour period if I'm not there.
Yeah. And if you warn him, don't do that, then maybe he won't do that, but he'll figure out something else.
Well, I'll just put it in his head. Okay, now I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, exactly. So you chase him around.
And
you don't even have to work out anymore because you're just chasing him out.
That is a workout.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm exhausted at the end of the day.
I can't imagine.
Yeah.
And summers are great because, you can go to the park, go to the swimming pool, things like that, run around the yard. This will be like the first winter because he basically just crawled all last winter. I mean, I guess he could kind of walk, but he never really knew what it was like to be outside until this summer.
Mm-hmm.
So this winter will be, I don't know what's going to happen. Figure it out. I guess everyone else figured it out. I can probably figure it out.
Well, there's one thing nice about having a child and busy and a wife is they probably occupy enough of your mind that when you leave the fire station, you have something else,
Oh, for
it's
sure.
not like you're a single guy and now it's like, what am I going to do? But you've got responsibilities and that's
it's like the distraction's already there.
Yeah.
It's in place. So you don't have to find something to distract you. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I enjoy just being outside, taking care of the yard and putzing around the house and building things. So that's kind of how I turn it on, turn it off.
Yeah.
Now, did you say what does Vanessa do?
She's a NICU nurse, so a neonatal nurse at St. Mary's downtown Madison.
Yeah, if she was a nurse. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, at St. Mary's. So that's where she always wanted to be.
Got a helping family.
Yeah. I'd like to think so anyways. Yeah.
For when us guys sitting around all the time talking into the microphone need help.
Yeah,
exactly.
Just go to the doers.
Well, let's play just for a minute or two here. Would you rather? We'll just do one.
No. Okay.
Is that all right with you?
Fine.
Okay.
Whatever.
All right. Now, maybe, I don't know if you're a health nut. I don't mean that in a mean way. I don't know if I know you work out.
Is this part of it? Or you're just asking me?
No, I'm talking about, you'll know when I ask this question if do you just eat salad? Is that what you eat?
No.
Okay.
No, that's kind of why I work out, run around. Because I don't eat junk food, but if I want to eat a cheeseburger, then I'm going to eat a cheeseburger.
Yeah. Okay.
Of course. I only get to live once. So I'm not going to spend it eating grass.
So would you rather have unlimited pizza for life or unlimited tacos for life?
Ooh, pizza.
You had to choose.
That's easy.
No problem.
Really?
And not that I don't like tacos or Mexican food in general, but yeah, that's easy. Pizza.
But any particular pizza, or do you just like, hey, obviously there's different levels of pizza, but I like pizza, so I'll eat kind of whatever's put in front of me.
That's the great thing about pizza is you can have, a thin crust pizza and it's pizza. Or you can have, some deep dish Chicago style or Detroit style. And it's all, we all call it pizza, but it's so different.
Yeah, right.
Where I just feel like someone will disagree, but I feel like a taco is just a taco. It's always basically the same thing.
Yeah.
And there's no such thing as taco or pizza tacos. There's taco pizza.
That's true.
So you can have tacos on your pizza.
Yeah.
So you can still technically cheat with that. And that's, I agree now. Tacos are very good, but
yeah, I'm not saying they're not good.
I'm not.
That was an easy
I'm
one.
a pizza. Yeah. Because there's so many types of pizza.
Yeah.
so many types.
Somebody else is going to disagree about this too, but like you'll see those Taco Bell commercials and they'll make these delicious looking things and then you go eat those. Where pizza most of the time, it's maybe it's not quite as good as they show on the commercials, but it's pretty close.
You're taking one taco place, a fast food taco place. There's so many real, like, genuine.
I'll tell you something interesting. This is the honest truth, I've never had Taco Bell.
Really?
It started, because I think just growing up, my mom was, fitness instructor, so I always ate healthy growing up and stuff. Well, relatively healthy, and there's no taco. Where was I going to go to get Taco Bell growing up?
They used to have one at the BP in Black Earth.
It was just a drive-through. Yeah, it was quite a few years ago. But yeah.
So I was like 20 or something like that, and 21, 22, and I had moved to Kenosha to be a firefighter there, and I said that to someone, and they're like, "There's no way." So then it just became like this game where I'm just not going to eat Taco Bell. Yeah, so I made it 30 years without Taco Bell.
You never had Taco Bell?
No.
Okay.
No.
I don't know if that's such a bad thing.
No.
It's fine. It's not bad, but it's not. It's like it'd be like
McDonald's how many memes there are about Taco Bell on the internet.
I know what you're saying, and those are all true.
Yeah.
So you're not missing out on that.
They're like, you got to try it. Like, why? I don't.
Yeah. It's like it would be kind of like McDonald's for taco fast food. Like there's definitely better out there.
Yeah.
But it's fast food still. So McDonald's is fine. We'll have McDonald's from time to time, but
I like McDonald's.
Yeah.
I can't beat McDonald's fries.
No, those are the best.
That's why I like Gordon's, because I think wherever McDonald's gets their fries, Gordon's gets them.
They must, too. Yeah, they're pretty close, aren't they? Or they're the same. Yeah,
that's what I like is the shoestring style.
You know what the worst thing is too, is when you go to McDonald's, you go like 3 times a year, and they don't have their fries salted. Like I go there for their fries to McDonald's.
Yeah,
and if they're not salted right, it's like.
It's just eating like a raw potato. Like potatoes, I feel like don't even have flavor. So when you eat those fries, you're just eating salt and grease flavored.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is the whole point.
So that's why it's like it's like
potatoes, just like the carrier.
Yeah, basically. It absorbs it really well.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree with that.
Well, it's been a pleasure talking with you, getting to know you a little bit better.
Yeah,
we've seen you down at Mix It Up, and let's go ahead and say
Dad would talk about how he watches Jameson work out. And I'm like, you don't want to say that. That's weird.
It was like an honest mistake, and then it became a joke. It's like I'm working out, quote, working out on the treadmill. Just running really slow, and you're actually working out. So I'm saying I'm working out with Jameson, but really he's working out, and I'm watching him work out. And they thought that was weird. So.
I got a question. How many miles you put on a day?
Yes, that's a good question.
And before you answer that question, I always make this joke with my family, and I'll say it to your face because whatever. I see you walk with your wife in the morning.
Yep.
And you walk with your wife or one of the boys at least at night or in the afternoons or whatever.
Yep.
And when you come to the gym,
you
walk on the treadmill.
How much food do I eat to keep this
weight
up?
I'm just saying, why do you come to the gym to walk on the treadmill?
Oh, I don't like to run anymore on the pavement.
Oh,
it hurts my knees. It seems like it's a little bit softer, more even, bouncier thing on the treadmill.
Yeah,
and
easier on the shins.
And I don't want to drive out to the track and run around a track. I don't want to do that. So, and then I can watch a podcast, and I don't want to watch the original Father Son voiceover podcast, just so you know. But I watch other podcasts or watch sports things or watch you work out. I miss you not working.
Yeah, I know.
He hasn't been the same.
His face is red.
Well, it's amazing because I don't like to run either. Like unless I'm doing basketball, flag football, baseball, and you go and you run, and you're 62, and I'm 26. I don't any part of that.
People would question whether I'm running though because it's slow.
It's still amazing.
It's 4.5-5 miles, but
I'm not a big runner either. I'll lift, I like the weights and I like the bike, hike, things like that. But running hurts. I don't know if it's wrong shoe. Everyone's got an excuse, wrong shoes or shin splints. I'm like, I don't need to run in my life.
Yeah.
Like, if I got to get away from something, I feel like I can run fast enough to get away from it, but I'm just going to go for a run because.
Well, and if it is faster than you, then it's like, well, I guess it's, I guess. What was I going to train for?
Right. Yeah. Well, so I was going to hang out with people that are slower than you.
Exactly.
It's nice to have a child, a son, because he'll pace you. And then as he gets older, then he'll push you, you'll be able to chase him a little bit too.
So. That's all he does is run. I don't think he ever walked. Actually, I think he just took off running.
Straight to running.
Crawling
and then running.
Yeah. Basically, yeah. I mean, he doesn't run good, but yeah.
He's a year and a half.
Well, I know. That's what my dad said. He runs really weird. My dad said, he better grow out of that. I was like, Dad, it's a year and a half year old. I'm sure it'll be fine.
So thank you for coming over. If you'll be willing to take our little prize coupon and take something off of the table, you can take something for you can take some for Wesley, or you can just take something for yourself. He probably shouldn't take any sugar if he's a runner.
I feel like he's got enough stuff, so I could just take something for myself.
There you go. Or take two things, because remember, Dick, your grandpa, Jim, Sharon.
He's gonna go home right after this and message him on Facebook.
Yeah,
even though he doesn't have Facebook, so that's.
Well, I've looked at my phone. I'm sure I've got text messages from my grandparents right now asking me to wash their windows or put up Christmas lights or something.
He's looking for something. Yeah. But thank you. I'll give you this coupon. Oh, stiff.
This is something my dad did.
Thank you.
We will. You can pick out a couple of things for your extra time here and for the bribe, and then we'll get a picture with you. So thank you.
Thank you guys. Thanks for having me. I'll come back anytime.
Okay.
Awesome.